Before this video begins, I need to give a quick content warning. This documentary includes discussion about real incidents in the furry community. Some strange, some concerning, and some deeply misunderstood. Everything will be kept safe for YouTube and fully redacted where necessary. The purpose of this video isn't to sensationalize anything, it's to tell the truth, debunk myths, and explain a part of the Geometry Dash community that most people don't even know exist. So if you're vulnerable towards sensitive content, I would highly incentivize clicking off now. There's no shame in doing it. Let's begin. When most people hear the word furry, their brain automatically jumps to memes they've seen online or some more nefarious content. But they're wrong. The real furry community, the one that actually exists, is something completely different. Now, that kind of art does exist, but it's nowhere near the main part of the furry community. The furry fandom began in the late 1970s and early 80s, before the internet. It started with artists and writers who loved creating worlds where animals had personalities, emotions, and human-like trails. These creators weren't doing anything strange. They were basically inspired by the same things we all grew up with. Disney characters, Looney Tunes, Sonic the Hedgehog, The Lion King, Star Fox, Pokemon, and many, many more. The fandom grew because people loved drawing characters like these. Except now they can invent their own. A fursona is simply a character, a personal mascot of sorts, that represents you. It could be a wolf, a fox, a dragon, cat, robot, anything you want. It's kind of like a profile picture that tells a story. And it's not a secret identity or anything creepy. It's not a double life. It's just a personalized character that you can use however you like. It's kind of like an avatar. You can use it as art in games. And it's probably one of the most misunderstood parts. The furry fandom is honestly one of the most creative groups on Earth, cause no, not every furry works in IT or for the government or the military. A lot of furries are artists, animators, musicians, writers, costume makers, 3D modelers, game designers, video editors, and streamers. These are people who spend hours every week creating things, teaching themselves, and mastering programs like Blender or Clip Studio. Now, the fandom is mostly online on Discord, Twitter, Telegram, in small art communities where people interact through drawings, stories, videos, and games. And one of the most important things about the furry fandom is how supportive it is. It's a place where people can express themselves freely without being judged. If you're shy, nerdy, or artistic, or socially anxious, you'll fit right in. This is the part where the internet gets everything wrong. The furry fandom is not centered around inappropriate behavior. In fact, less than 1% of the community ever engages with anything NSFW. And those people are not representative of the fandom at all. No matter what memes say, the furry fandom is built on creativity, connection, and imagination. Not the stereotypes that barely even exist. The real reason the community gets mocked online is simple. It's different, it's expressive, and it's easy for outsiders to reduce something complicated into, well, a punchline. But in reality, the furry fandom is one of the least harmful groups on the whole internet. It has very little toxicity and harassment, and it's just about people making art and having fun. So now that we understand what the furry community really is, let's talk about something almost nobody outside the Geometry Dash world realizes. Furries are everywhere in the GD community. Despite what people think, the Geometry Dash community has a surprisingly large furry presence since the very beginning. It's just not something people talk about openly. Open any large GD Discord server right now. Mod teams, creator servers, artist servers, and you'll see furry profile pictures everywhere. Not ironically, not as a joke. Just part of the community. And there's a very simple reason for this overlap. Both communities are built on creativity. Geometry Dash creators make visual art, practical effects, backgrounds, animations, music selection, color palettes, character style icons, and fully designed worlds. And furries make digital illustrations, character design, animated loops, and 3D models, expressive mascots, and world building. It's basically the same kind of creative brain, just expressed differently. There are multiple well-known Geometry Dash creators who might be furries, or at least are furry adjacent. Take, well, Soink. He has had a multitude of examples. And also GD Colon, although he denies everything.
What? You're not a furry!
But it wouldn't surprise me if he at some point comes out as a furry. Every once in a while you hear someone joke about furries in the GD community, but the reaction is usually the same. People shrug and move on. The GD community is mostly respectful. People care way more about who's verified what demon, who built which part, and who's creating the next big mega collab, than about someone's fursona. And this crossover between GD and the furry fandom matters, because it explains something people overlook. The Geometry Dash community is artistic, expressive, and super welcoming, just like the furry fandom. And the two communities grew up together. Players who were 13 back in 2015 are adults now. And many belong to both worlds. And this brings us to the next major topic. The incidents in the furry fandom. Some serious and exaggerated and misunderstood deeply. And they shape how outsiders perceive the community. And I feel like it's important to talk about them honestly. I said earlier this video would cover some darker or stranger events. And now is your final warning. If you don't want to see this type of content, obviously everything has been redacted and there will be nothing graphic in here. But if you are sensitive to this type of content, please click off now. There's no shame in doing that. Anyways, let's move on. One of the strangest events associated with the furry fandom is what the internet now calls the hallway pizza incident. And no, it's not what the memes say, but it is still serious. At a mid-2010s furry convention, a small group of individuals privately coordinated a meetup in a quiet hallway late at night. Their intention was to engage in an activity involving pizzas in a way that was inappropriate for convention settings. And the rundown version is that they created a meetup for people to release their fluids onto some pizzas. This created, obviously, a hygiene hazard, but more importantly, it was dangerous for hotel cleaning staff, many of who were teenagers or minors, and none of who were consented with dealing with redacted materials. Now, the furry community didn't defend this behavior. They commended immediately. People were banned, hotel staff got involved, and cameras and security increased, as well as hallway patrols becoming a thing. It became a meme, but the truth is, it led to a better, safer, and cleaner boundaries at conventions. These events don't define the furry community. What defines it is how the community responds. They responded with accountability, empathy, and most importantly, safety. Most furries are just artists, gamers, animators, or friends who just want to express themselves.
The Chicago Tribune, 19 people were hospitalized at a furry convention in Illinois after what's being called an intentional leak of chlorine
What's
gas.
a furry convention?
Did I get that
What
wrong?
leaked there? Oh, gosh.
Okay, officials were called when a strong odor
It
of
is.
chlorine, what? Spread?
I think they had to evacuate the building and everything. Sent the hotel guests along with convention attendees into the cold night, many still dressed in their furry costumes.
Now that I've talked about all this, I think it's time to be honest. Because yes, I'm a furry. And I've been a furry for a while. And not ironically, not as a joke. And I'm still the same. I still make Geometry Dash content. I spent hours recording, editing, making levels. Yeah. And the furry fandom has been a huge source of comfort doing all that. And I'm proud of it. And if you're a furry too, in GD or anywhere else, you should be proud as well. Stand up about it. Don't let people drag you down. Furries are in the Geometry Dash community. They've been here the whole time. They're creators, artists, players, moderators, and friends. And they've shaped parts of the game's culture more than most people realize, or at least want to realize. And I hope this video changed your mind. So maybe next time, think twice about leaving that hate comment. Because it's still a person. Still a person with the same rights, same identity, and going through the same struggles as you are. Okay, so the video is officially over now. But I want to say this because I have been asked about it. Regarding streaming, I plan on doing streaming, or don't plan on. I will say this: there's a chance I'll be streaming, and if I will be streaming, it will probably be on Twitch, over on Mr. Flame, and hopefully I can also get the streams running on YouTube. If not, it's going to be on Twitch. And also regarding content, I will lean more into the more documentary style type of content. So I will still occasionally post, the demon completions or other funny video ideas I come up with. But it's primarily gonna be documentary content. Also, when I stream, if I stream, it will be on Tuesdays, and it will be no warning, no planned time. It's just gonna be whenever I have time, and whenever I have time is usually Tuesdays. So yeah, stay tuned, and I'll stream, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, that's all for me. Hope you enjoyed. See you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye. Yes. Yes. Oh my god. I was planning to make that the last run of the day. Holy